What's happening, folks? Welcome to another episode of the Adventure Metrics Podcast, where we talk about adding adventure to your life and business. I'm here with my buddy Scott Brills. I'm Matt Horwitz. Welcome, Scott.
Hey.
Yesterday, I'm at the beach. Right now, I'm up in Rhode Island, and I'm up here with a girlfriend. We went to the beach, and the water was looking really funky, like just crazy, just red. It was just like, you know how the ocean's like you get there, it looks supposed to be blue. Or if you're in the northeast, it's kind of dark. You know, you don't get crystal clear waters up here. The beach was like dark black, but then when you got closer, it was red. So I scoped around. I made sure that there was outdoor showers, and I decided to go in. And when I went in, there was like this. It looked like little red moss. And I was just like, whatever. So I went in the water, just dunked in. It was freezing. Came back out. Recognized that I was covered in this like funky red moss stuff. So went in the shower. Like this outdoor shower thing with pretty crappy water pressure, and it wasn't coming off. Like it kind of was, but anyway, it was all over my face, all over my body.
Red tide poisoning.
Yeah. So then I'm there. What makes it even worse? I'm trying to get the stuff off, and then I shower for like 3 or 4 minutes, doesn't come off. Then I start to like look on my body, and I'm like with my friend, and I'm like, there's these like little tiny I call them mini leeches, all over my body.
What?
Dude, like in my hair, in my ear, and they're all different sizes. And like it was so nasty. And then the water pressure was like we're in the middle of nowhere with like really crappy beach showers. So I ended up I went into the bathroom. There's like some little bathroom here, and they had the kind of, you know how laundry rooms sometimes have those like tub what's the thing? Those basin kind of, I don't know.
Yeah, wash basins.
Or something. So literally, I just rip off my bathing suit. I get freaking naked in the bathroom. I'm just rinsing my bathing suit out and the craziest thing is the moss is sticky as hell, and these little bugs, I don't even know how to describe them. And they're like, it's not like a little caterpillar, but they just look so like all I could think about was that scene in The Matrix when I was just like, you know, that little bug goes on his stomach. Like,
oh yeah.
All I thought about was like, get these things away from any holes in my lower body. And it was just like, dude, I'm butt naked in the bathroom. There's like 2 old guys just like peeing in a urinal. The guy next to me is like at a urinal, which is next to the sink. And there's a wall right here. And I am just like I have the water on full blast, like crazy water pressure. I'm splashing over the place. I got like one leg in the basin. I'm like butt naked, and the water is like hitting the floor, and it's just hitting this guy's leg. And I'm like, dude, I'm so sorry, man. He's like, I'm like, there's just leeches all over me. He's like, is that what's on your back? And anyways, long story short, it was really funny because before we were going to the beach, my friend's like, oh, do you want to go to Newport or do you want to go here? We kind of like weren't really sure. And I had this weird like gut feeling. I was like, let's just go to Newport. Anyway, after I had all that, I felt that was good prep work in case I'm ever in the Amazon, I get covered in leeches. I had it was nasty, man. It was nasty.
Did you Wikipedia that stuff? I mean, like,
you know what?
What is it?
Red moss, Rhode Island. No, I have no idea. It was strange as hell. And then even afterwards, coming back, it was good. Had to do a little bit of comfort challenge. I was basically like walking around the beach in like these weird boxer briefs that are just cut really, really tight. And I'm just like,
it was all European.
Yeah. I told my friend, I'm like, just tell people I'm from Europe, whatever. Just was rocking it. But anyway, that was my adventure from yesterday. So I felt though afterwards, although it was crazy, I felt that it was a good experience to be covered in all kinds of these crazy bugs that didn't come off. And then even afterwards, I'm like just picking them off my leg, and they're in the bathing suit, and it was nasty. So
that's good practice for India.
Yeah, exactly. And then later, I'm like, I'm glad I went to that beach. For some reason, I needed that experience. I needed to get covered in really strange, funky moss and little mini caterpillar shrimp matrix type things that are eating you.
Yeah, you sure they're not shrimp? They're probably shrimp. Like brine or something like that.
That just makes my story sound not cool at all. It makes me
okay. No, they're probably like venomous leeches. You're probably correct. Say krill. It's probably like krill because like krill is orange and red. You know, like
yeah. They were like it was. Some of them were small, and then like of course after I rinse off, I'm then walking in the beach, and I open my pocket and there's like a big glob of moss and there's like bugs. It was disgusting. Anyways, that's my story.
Yeah, regardless, I guess it's not really something you want crawling in your orify. Yeah, man.
Were you at New York?
Schenectady, New York. Yeah, I'm upstate, right next to Albany, doing a class. I teach classes to a big multinational corporations employees once or twice a month on average. So they fly me around and put me up in a hotel, and I teach these classes. So
what do you teach?
I teach like intros to proprietary piece of software that I've had a lot of experience with, and so it's not secret so much.
What does this proprietary software do?
Well, it's proprietary software it's like Microsoft Project, but like a lot more in depth, and it's used just for this company, and they roll it out amongst their employees all over the world at every single division, and so I was working with it for a while in a commercial sense, and then they wanted me to teach people how to use it. So I teach beginner classes. It's like 3-day long class, and it's about 20 hours worth of instruction, give or take. Take over 3 days. So pretty long days. Like every day, like I was just mentioning to you, every day when I get done with it. I mean, being a teacher is hard work.
Yeah, it's definitely
like being up in front of the classroom. Mad respect for the teachers, because like when you're standing up there for 7-8 hours. Like I get back every time I do this. I've been doing it for a while now, and every time I do it, like I just get back to the hotel and I fall asleep for like an hour or half an hour because I need to like regenerate. It just takes everything out of me.
So Scott's still wearing his pajamas right now. He's not even wearing pants.
What are you talking about? I changed my shirt. What are you talking about?
I'm totally calling you out. The beauty
hey, half the times I do this show, I'm not wearing pants anyway, so whatever. It's
more
the same.
No Pants Podcast.
No Pants Podcast, episode 11.
What did we have it earlier? Our podcast is going to have. We're going to have an official name. By the way, if you guys are listening, we're on. This is show 11, 11 or 12. The Adventure Metrics Podcast, and then every now and then will be the No Pants Podcast, and then.
The beer podcast. I forgot to grab the beer. I wanted to grab the beer. The hotel has a bar, and they've got a microbrew that the company that owns this hotel has some restaurants, and they've got a microbrew attached to one of them. I was originally going to actually go there tonight because they've got a live band, and I was going to go there and check it out and just grab a few brews and whatnot. But I got this stupid podcast to do. It ruined all my plans, and so whatever. I was going to grab a beer though, just like last time when we were hanging out. And I was in California, but alas, maybe next time.
We'll have to share your photo that you showed me before the show on the like a few episodes ago. It's pretty much like
see if I can show it.
Our podcast definitely is the Adventure Podcast. Like right now, I have my microphone posted on an old tissue box that I found in the recycle bin. Every time Scott and I are usually in, we have like a regular location every now and then, but Scott was like in a patio sitting on a chair with like shoe boxes stacked up and crappy Wi-Fi. And
this is let's see if we can see it. So I don't know how well it's going to look like over like when it's compressed in the video, but like we'll
include it below the video.
Yeah, like that's me. Obviously, if you're listening to this, you can't see me. It's really bad radio, as they say. But it's like me sitting down on a crappy chair. In front of another crappy chair. It's like right between my legs with like 2 cardboard boxes and my laptop on top. And I'm like outside in a patio because that was the only like quiet place I could find. Yeah. I was at Manish Sethi's place in San Francisco when I was doing my road trip last month. And James Swanek was there with Manish, and they were both doing a call inside. And I was just finishing up, and Natalie Sisson was there, and she's like, "That's hilarious." And she just took a picture of me. It's like, yeah, welcome to the always fabulous life of podcasters / internet entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Whatever.
We might be. You and I were chatting about because we always like to get the video in, which just makes the setup a lot more challenging. We have to make sure that we have proper Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi kills me. If I don't have Wi-Fi, I just go nuts. Like you can't get anything done. It's like the biggest crippling location independent entrepreneurs. You take away Wi-Fi, their life's just like over.
And not just Wi-Fi, decent Wi-Fi, because we've had some issues. Even when I was in California, I was on FiOS, fiber broadband, and we were having trouble recording video and even recording audio at sometimes, much less random hotels in the middle of nowhere. And it makes it tough. If the internet's not good enough, you just can't do the show, or you have to delay it indefinitely.
Definitely. So let's talk about, man. You've been busy as hell since I last saw you a few weeks ago, and you got an active month of August. And I just last minute, I was literally today and yesterday, I've just been stressed out. Like, I've been working, I've been getting stuff done, but not feeling like I'm just putting out fires, just being like efficient. But at the end of the day, I'm just feeling kind of I'm better on myself. I used to get more angry, but I'm just like, damn, I'm not effective. I should have been putting 5 hours into that one thing and doing this. So, but anyway, I've been done. I'm in copy hour. This is my third time doing the copywriting course, and this is the final week. So then once that's done, that's basically like an hour and a half every morning. Right after I make my coffee, I sit down and I just do the writing assignment. So I think when that space opens up, it's going to be nice because I can dedicate that to my new big project. And but yeah, man, I've just been stressed. I'm flying. We got Burning Man at the end of the month, but literally, like, I just bought like 2 flights earlier today. The prices just jacked up. I had to buy a flight back to Fort Lauderdale next week. 3 days later, my friend comes down. We go to Panama. The day we come back from Panama, a few hours later, I fly out to Reno to meet you guys for Burning Man. But I got to get like my bike and all my gear and like all this stuff. I got to get the shipping and stuff. I know you've been staying up late doing lots of stuff, but past 2 days, stress levels have just been a little bit high. But I got on my calendar tonight. Today is my workout. I try to get them in right now on Tuesdays and Fridays. So going to go for a little run around this neighborhood and then go hit up the park and do some pull-ups and some random calisthenics.
Yeah, it's funny, like we're talking like, oh crap, I gotta fly here and I gotta go to Burning Man and like I gotta get the logistics, and it's like
it's a lot of details, man.
It is a lot of details, I can only imagine like what like what babies you sound like to someone who's like, what? Like, I just work at a job and I'm at my desk all day and I'd kill for that.
Yeah.
It's like we choose to do it. So like, whatever, can't really complain. Yeah. But,
and there's people who travel a lot more too than even that. So
yeah, road warriors. Yeah. Like, Clooney and Up in the Air like that, like I remember watching that for the first time. I'm like, I'm George Clooney. Like that's me. Like I'm the one that looks for the Asian people and the security line and like follows them and like steers clear of like the old people and the groups of families,
What movie,
like,
is this the movie where he flies around and gives motivational speeches or something?
Yeah, he flies around and he fires people actually. His job is to like fire people, and he has a very I don't know. It's like a very, you might say, shallow life other than work. Like, he's really good at what he does, and I'm sure they pay him big money. But he flies around the country, and he's got everything like in his life packed up into the suitcase, and he doesn't have any relationships outside of it because he can't keep it up because he's traveling all the time. And I was like, and I could draw a lot of parallels on this. So it. It's a lot of travel, and I'm planning out this Burning Man experience for 18 people. Somehow I got stuck with doing that. I mean, I volunteered.
Well, I'm talking to Danny tomorrow, so I think I'll kind of head up the some stuff about our trip in December.
Yeah, I definitely signed up for it, but I didn't realize it would be so much work. I mean, keeping 18 people, give or take, alive in the desert for a week without any refueling, as far as like water and food and stuff like that. You have to be self-sufficient, so it's a lot of planning. Like, I'm getting a crash course in Burning Man prep, so like next year, I'm going to try to make a sheet with all the planning I'm doing on it, all the questions and the supplies to bring and stuff like that. And I have some people saying, I'm going to go in 2014. I'm like, well, just hit me up because I'll definitely know what I'm doing, for then.
If you're watching this podcast in the future, I'm sure by now, if you stop by Scott's website, you can buy his course on Burning Man prep.
I like it. 3 easy payments of $99.
I just give you a future plug. I'm breaking podcasting rules right now, and I'm on the web. But I'll tell you what I'm doing with the Burning Man podcast, or not Burning Man. What am I talking about? Burning Man podcast? Because the Burning Man website is just loaded with information.
Yeah.
I basically just did a site. I just wanted to do a quick index site of Burning Man. This is not including any of the subdomains they have, but over 1,100 pages of indexed material. So you got plenty of reading.
Jeez. I've read most of it. I've seen all the videos, the documentaries, like I've read all of their email announcements they send out. I've talked to people that have been there, like everything. I've like thrown myself into it. I've probably been doing that as much as I've been working lately.
Yeah. I'm looking at my light here. We got to do, Scott and I were joking beforehand about the Ghetto, I mentioned earlier, the Ghetto podcast. I'm looking now, it's like 6:00 and my outdoor light is slowly going down.
Yeah, like here we're both in the East Coast, give or take. And
you look bright as hell, man.
Well, you know what? Like I'm in front of a window and I've got like this muslin curtain thing that kind of shades the light, but even so, the light is like coming in like from this angle outside of the window, and it's pretty bright and nice out here.
Yeah,
it's definitely. It's going down, but it's still pretty bright. As well as, like another thing you were saying about making a podcast and including video, it involves so much more setup, as far as lighting. Like when you just called me up, I was like, what the heck are you doing? I'm dragging a table across the room in the hotel room so I could put it by the window so I have proper lighting coming.
Look at my lovely background. Look at that. I got a fridge. Oh. Check out that fridge, man.
Nice. I especially like the power outlet behind your head.
I've been trying to hide it with my head.
You're not doing a good job.
I had my laptop. Let's get the adjustment going on. The more and more shows I do, I just you care less and less about making it perfect. And I think in us doing that, we can just deliver better content. I think. Plus, it's the adventure podcast, so we just have a great excuse to just do whatever. Just roll with it. Some shows will have better audio / video than the other ones, but it doesn't matter. Long as we crank them out one every other week at this point. Definitely.
We just have to get them out there.
Yeah.
Even if we don't have any topics to talk about, maybe if we're just kind of shooting the shit like we're doing right now.
I could go for like another 10 more minutes, man. But this is radio. Radio is just like you make your voice sound really cool, and you just talk about stuff that you're not really talking about anything. And like 5 minutes goes by, you just I lost it. Yeah, it's hard to be on radio. It's like
you always talk, not get.
It's like being a porn star. It's like you're on. You just got to be on.
I don't have as much experience as you in that field, but I assume that it's a very hard job. Oh yeah, see what I did there? I'd make a great Jackie.
Yeah, this is and then crickets and nothing to talk about. But so. What was I going to ask you though about your upcoming travels?
Yeah. So
you got a bunch of
going right from here. And
you were just in Cali. You were just in Cali.
Just in Cali. I was back for a week for my birthday. Came here.
Dude. I sent you an email, but happy birthday again. Official.
Yes. Cheers.
Water cheers.
Water cheers.
Water podcast.
So I was back for a week for my birthday, saw some friends, saw some family, caught up as best as I could, and then I'm out here for a few days working. I get back 12 hours later. I'm back. I'm flying over to Utah to meet up with my uncle, who's entering. He's part of a race car team, Team Vesco, that is competing in the Bonneville Salt Flats Speed Week time trials for the fastest non-jet car on Earth.
Badass.
They're actually winners. They've gotten their one car, I think, up to 550 miles an hour. And my uncle built the one in his garage.
What's the fastest you've driven a car?
Me, not fast, man. I've not driven a car fast. I've driven 110, something like that. Not very fast at all.
Dude, I was a crazy like teenager / like early 20s.
I've heard your stories. We can have an episode all about your stories. Actually, probably have to be a series. The life and podcast of Matt Horowitz.
Yeah, I would like the note to self is like at some point I document a lot of things. I'm totally interrupting and just totally took the floor from you. But one of those things I think that's important is just like documenting your life. I think whether or not you publish it or anything, I just think it's cool stuff to have as we get older, look back on all the stories. But you were talking about your travels before I got
to get better at that. I got to get better at documenting stuff because the big journeys I have, we document them as best I can on the road. But
small
most
ones
of the
are great stories too. I think like good lessons, good lessons happen. Like I'm up here with a girlfriend and we're just like, in the daytime, she's out from, 7 in the morning until like 3, 4 in the afternoon. I work. And then after that, it's like, even though it doesn't sound like I'm doing that much, it's like the conversations that we're having. And like, I feel like I'm learning and experiencing so much on it. And sometimes in that, it's like, there's good stories in there. So
it's like, to put you on the spot, it's official. It's official now. No, like you're using the G word now.
No. Here's the thing. I get this from my dad. When I was little, my dad would I'd have friends over, and he'd be like, "Oh, you're having your girlfriends over." Like he just referred to females as girlfriends, and they are girls that are friends. So
You
here's
have to
the
leave
thing.
more of a pause between the two words. I'm just saying.
No, it's the it's the prepa. I don't know the English part, but anyway, I said it's a girlfriend.
Preposition.
If it was my girlfriend, then that's packaged.
Okay. All right. So you're still not quite.
I'm actually gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it a little bit ambiguous because I'm just gonna use that word when I'm with females, and I'm just gonna call them all a girlfriend. And if you know
people
me,
get the wrong idea for that.
Damn. No, I totally just blew it already. But no, nothing official. Although, we're digging each other, having a fun time.
I'll be sure to find her on Facebook and send her a link to this episode.
But no, we're shooting down to Panama. Well, she's coming down to Miami, and then we're shooting down to Panama for a little kind of mini getaway. I don't know. I like Central America. It's August, and it's funny. Even though I work and travel, I feel like it's like every now and then it's just like I need a vacation.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I don't ever feel like that. I guess I've got enough vacation. I definitely am not gonna complain about that. But you never get 100% vacation. You're always
or disconnect. Just like I just want to shut my no Gmail. Like just for me, it's the no Gmail thing.
Yeah, I mean, I did no laptop for a week when I was in Portland with you. I still checked email with my phone, but I didn't actually do any work for a week. I had people doing work for me, but I didn't touch it. So that was a pretty big thing to not touch my laptop for a week or a computer for a week. I mean, that's huge.
Yeah.
Swinging back around. I'm going to Salt Flats for a week. It'll be like Burning Man practice because we'll be in Salt Flats, just like Burning Man will be set up. And then I'll be doing a little bit of camping. I'll be doing a little bit of slumming it out there because I don't have accommodation for the first 3 days. And then I get back, and then 10 hours after I get back or less, I'm going to Quebec on a
10
trip.
hours less.
Yep. I
get back to back.
I unpack, I repack, I go back on the road for a road trip for a wedding. And then I get back, and that same day, pick up the RV, pick up some people from the airport, go shopping, stay at a friend's house at night, Jimmy, who we both know. And then we set off for Reno the next day. And so
how many days you giving yourself? Are you going hardcore, like pedal to the metal?
Pedal to the metal. 3 on the way back, 3 on the way there, 4 on the way back, and we've got 7 people that are driving, so we'll be able to split it up a bit. We'll be able to crank out at least 12 hours a day. Yeah. But it'd be the first time driving an RV for me, and I think for some other people too.
How big is it?
30 feet.
30 feet.
It's a proper sized RV. Yeah. It's big.
A random thing I want to do is I want to get a commercial driver's license and just learn how to drive an 18 speed.
Really?
Yeah.
I've heard that's tough. I mean, there's a lot of gears in that thing.
Yeah, double clutching through 18 gears. I'm just like, I have to try that. It just sounds too. And learning how to back those things up, I just think it's a skill in life I would like to have.
Oh wow, yeah, it's definitely a skill. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And then so I'm out there for 2 weeks. I'll pick you up in Reno along with a few other people.
And my flight.
Awesome. Ago. Yeah. And and then
actually I didn't buy it. Didn't buy it. Southwest Points.
Oh, nice. Yeah. You acquired it. Yeah. So it's busy, and like I was just telling you yesterday, it's like I've got my travel plans mapped out more or less all the way until June next year. Damn. Which is pretty crazy. I usually won't plan for more than a year in advance, but I'm like, some friends of mine like, well, we're going to Carnival, and I'm like, yeah, I'd love to hit up Carnival. So I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll do that at the end of February. And we've got the India rickshaw thing that.
So you're flying from Brazil. Would you say you're flying from Brazil to Japan?
I'm thinking about flying from Detroit to Brazil, Brazil to Japan to southern India, driving with you from southern India to northern India, flying from there.
7 horsepower
lawnmower. Three-wheeled rickshaw. Yep. We'll get more into that some other time. And then flying from there to Bangkok. And then, let's see, that would be taking us into May, staying a little bit in May. I'd like to hit up a conference that my friend Yana is putting on in Berlin next year called the Alive Conference. And if she doesn't end up doing that in April and does it in May instead, I'm going to try to hit it up, but we'll see. The timing might not work out. So I might fly from Bangkok to Berlin to home, or Bangkok, Berlin, England home, or just Bangkok home. It depends on the timing.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, through June, which is nuts.
Yeah. What's your you have any top travel cards that you've been like, what miles are you working on now? Anything specifically, or you have enough expenses now and you're just accruing, they're building up?
Since I'm working on automating my businesses and starting up a few businesses, starting up our business type thing for this and any other ventures we get into, and then starting up my safari business and working on automation, I'm really getting interested in that point where I won't have to be a part of the business every day. And, maybe I could just check email on my phone, like I was mentioning. And at that point, I'd like to do some more, trek-ish type stuff, like long-term hiking, like I was telling you about the Camino de Santiago in Spain.
Yeah.
That would be a pretty cool adventure. I can't really do that right now. I mean, I can, like I operated my business crappily while I was going through Africa, just bare minimum, keeping it afloat type thing, and couldn't do that sometimes.
It's stressful though afterwards. It's just like,
it's
shit,
stressful.
A lot of catch up.
I'd like to unplug and get that done. So yeah, as far as that goes, I'd also like to do, once I reach that point, I'd like to do South Pacific. I'd love to island hop a few different places in the South Pacific. So I've been looking at doing mile cards or mile programs that allow pretty decent redemption for round the world tickets. Mm-hmm. And I found one of the best ones to be United. And so I believe it's 180,000 for a 8-point stopover, something like that, around the world, as long as you're going in the same direction. There's a bunch of
180,000 miles.
Yeah, you really have to study up on it, but basically, it's really worth it if you're going to be doing that kind of a trip.
What's your favorite? Who do you follow? Where do you get most of your? Are you reading it like when you check on cards? Like I stopped by extrapackofpeanuts.com. Do you have like a one or two go-to travel hacking sites?
So I was hanging out with him, with Extra Pack of Peanuts guy. Yes, Travis. Yeah,
he's a smart dude.
Yes, we actually
shout out Pennsylvania. He's from PA.
we met up a few times during the conference. I gotta send him an email or something, say hi. We'll link to him. Yeah, he's got good content on there, and also the Points guy. Yeah, I've seen his stuff for a long time, and also Flyer Talk. Although that information is more kind of disjointed, but some of the stuff I check out on there. We'll link to all that stuff. But there's that stuff. There's a few other ones too. View from the Wing. That has some good stuff, and he actually operates a service that will find you the best routing and best price or point combination to do a multi-stop over itinerary, and he charges you like $150. So I was actually thinking might actually be worth it, just because I've been doing this for a long time, but I haven't studied travel hacking to that extent.
It takes hours to put together an itinerary.
You have to call up people, and you get to the point where it's like, well, I could spend 5 hours learning how to do this and do it myself. Or how many
50.
round the world tickets am I going to be doing? Yeah, my time is worth more that much. Yeah. A lot more than that for 5 hours. Yeah, for 5 hours, I can.
You sure you're still not doing your billable rate's not $15 an hour? That's not the right math, but.
Geez, I think I was charging. I just looked over my billing. I think I started off when I was 19. Charging $35 an hour.
That's pretty badass for 19, man.
Yeah. But I thought it was worth it. I look back, I probably wasn't worth it, but I thought it was. It's
way to do it.
Overconfident.
Fake it till you make it. That's what I did. That's what I did in real estate. I remember being at my first settlement. I was like 21 years old, just like selling like a house for a couple $100,000. Like, I know what I'm doing. Just sign there. And that's it. And like, 7 settlements later, it was like, all right, I'm in the groove now.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I've learned that time and time again, starting up businesses, either by myself or with other people. That's the way to do it. Fake it till you make it. Yeah. Bullshit yourself to success, et cetera, et cetera.
In a good way. You can't be a jerk. You're not stealing money, but you do kind of have to jump in. And a quote that I have on my wall for longest time: "Fortune favors the bold," and that's just a big reminder to myself too. It's like anytime I catch myself being timid or anything, that's when I need to be more bold. And you definitely.
Should we use that for the quote of the show?
I think I have. I do have another one that I.
Okay. I was at test.
We'll do both. We'll do both.
Did you actually do it? Okay. We'll say both. We'll link to one of them.
Yeah,
we'll have a vote.
This one's like mid-show. Just fortune favors the bold. It's a tagline-ish quote, but no, I think it's good. I just read or just finished Robert Greene's Mastery. No, I read Mastery. I read the 48 Laws of Power, which is a weird book, like in the sense of that it's really kind of, it can be like the tactics are kind of dark and twisted. And he prefaces it and talks about the book like, don't follow these 48 Laws of Power. Here they are. People do use them in society. Exercise them at your will kind of thing.
Right.
But it was interesting. And one of those things that just talked about just boldness, the power of boldness and courage. And he talked about characters like Napoleon Bonaparte and just people who were just so massively bold that it's just like, you might not know what you're doing, but if you are just bold and you're charging forward and you're just taking action and just like, you will have people following you.
Yeah, it's just a momentum thing, right? Yeah.
And then it was something, the 48 Laws of Power is a little bit twisted, caveat. I really like Robert Greene as an individual, what he's about. So I read that book because I had also read 2 of his other books, and I just kind of want to read his library in essence.
You're like, I don't like these 2. Let me see if I won't like the 3rd as well.
It's not a book I would like link up to right away. It was like, I translate it. Like I'll hear something that's about like one of the like, Law 38 might be like, crush your enemy entirely. And it's like, that's not my personality or anything, but I'll take it and like, I'll filter it and translate it into something that's, applicable in a sense.
That's similar to like art of war type stuff like Machiavelli and a little bit of Sun Tzu.
Yeah, definitely. No, I think it's that's his next book, which I haven't read, the 33 Strategies of War, which is I don't know. I think you can always kind of it's like a paradox. It's a balance of sometimes your ruthless killer mentality in whatever you're doing, but at the same time you can be loving and caring and empathetic in a sense.
Yeah, I haven't checked out any of his stuff.
Robert Greene?
Yeah, no. I've heard of him many times, but
the 50th Law and Mastery of, well, he's also written The Art of Seduction, which is a pretty heavy read. The Art of Seduction is good, but that was during when I was reading a whole bunch of stuff on seduction and dating and pickup and all that.
Back in those days. Yes.
Dude, I haven't thought about that stuff for a while, and but that has had like that's had so much impact on just how I handle myself, not just in relationship to women and females, but just in general. It really pushes you in a lot of areas. And
it's funny that a lot of people that are now, bloggers or internet entrepreneurs, like a lot of the people we hung out with at WDS in Portland, they all at least dabbled in it, if nothing else. Well, everyone knows about it and they've dabbled in it. And it's just kind of funny that that's a common theme amongst all of us,
I mean, it makes sense. It's one of those common. It's just a common thing. Like you want to eat, you want to be successful, you want to. I feel like I'm about to sound so shallow or something. It's not,
I know what you're going for.
No, I was trying to say it in a more eloquent way. Like this is just the way that
you want to. You want to bang?
Works.
What are you getting at? Is that eloquent enough?
No. Dude. It's the nature. It's the essence of the universe, man. It's just how things are. Just how things are. And if that's the way that things are, then I want to be really good at those things, right? Like
it's a natural drive. It's one of those. It's a natural drive. Yeah.
I want to be healthy. I want to be fast. I want to be flexible. I want to be smart. I want to be successful. And it's like, if I'm already going to be those things, if I'm already going to operate in those spaces, I might as well just get really good at them. I might as well work on improving myself and things of that sort. So
I focus on that first thing you mentioned. I focused at being very good at eating. I've had a lot of years of experience at that, and I really think I'm starting to gain some traction as far as that goes. I think I've really improved over the last few years as far as both quantity and quality of the foodstuffs that I've been putting in my body. So I think maybe I'll launch a course on that. Maybe I'll launch a course on.
You beat me to it. I was literally. We should have that'll be your free giveaway, and that'll be your
art of eating. The art of eating, or the seduction of food. How about that? That sounds like a pretty good title.
That is a good one. What was I just gonna? I just had something really good, and it just completely slipped. It was either a good comment or something really. Anyways, we're probably at.
Have to save it for next show. Sorry,
save it for next show. But what I want to close out with, actually, want to add, what website do you use? Do you have any recommendations for like last minute flight stuff? I mean, what's your go to like
kayak?
Just
kayak, yeah. I mean, like I know there's Airfare Watcher and there's Skyscanner and there's like this one software.
Fly.com?
I've not done fly.com.
I just learned about it a few hours ago. Like, not for last minute travel, but if you go to fly.com, you just select the airport that you're heading out of. And it's kind of like if you want to travel somewhere where you're not really too attached.
That's kind of cool. Yeah, I haven't heard of that.
And then it'll show you a bunch of domestic and international places. And then it's like, I don't know, the interface of the calendar is just really cool it's like, when you do a search on Kayak, you're like, just let me see the damn freaking month. Like, I don't want to do this day by day crap. And it's just like this.
Well, they've got the calendar version. That it'll list, if you click, there's like a calendar option. It'll tell you the price for like all the days. Which is cool, but like I might check out. Was this you said sky.com?
No, it's just Fly, FLY.
Fly.com. Okay.
Yeah, Fly.com.
There's always that mythical like last minute traveler, like they give you the ticket for nothing type thing. I always wonder. I mean, because like they want to fill seats.
Yeah.
I always wondered if like there was some way if I just showed up somewhere with luggage and I was just like, hey, showed up as like, hey, what do you got?
$100 cash.
What do you got? Like, this is my offer. Take it or leave it. I just want to fly somewhere. Like that recent was it Heineken that was doing it? That airport thing, the airport roulette type thing where they just like approach random people and they're like, we are going to give you an all expenses paid vacation to a random country. You have to agree to it before you know what the country is. And then they put through this like roulette system and it just picks this random spot. And most of the people, they're like, no, I can't do it because I'm like on a business trip right now or my wife's expecting me home. But some people are like, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to do it. And so they got sent to Spain, or they got sent to one guy got sent to Laos, I think.
Wow.
Yeah. So like it was kind of funny to see it. It was obviously a viral video type thing that they did. I'm pretty sure it's Heineken. We'll link to it.
Good marketing. Good marketing.
Yeah,
people are getting better at people.
I mean, hey, look, we're talking about it, so it must be working.
Damn. Yeah. People. I think a lot of advertisers, brand oriented things are just getting much better. Like the recipe for viralness on what things spread, although it might be good. What was it? I watched a talk recently just about how much garbage and bullshit is on the internet, just which is the rate of production of just. It was like a graph of like, this is how many photos were taken in 1950. This is how many photos were taken in 1960. Here's 1990, and then it was like 2010. It was just like, it was like just so much more stuff hitting the interwebs.
Yeah, right. And plus their ability to catalog it is much easier if it's on the internet versus, how many photos were taken. What are they measuring the amount of film that was bought or something? I can't imagine that the metrics are that good for that. It
was funny. It was like some guy who works on the web. He's like a designer or something of that sort, just talking about how 90% of the internet's just, I don't know, about basically telling people if you're producing stuff on the internet just because it's the internet and cost of production is cheap and distribution is easy, don't produce crap. Produce quality.
Yeah. Right.
Cool. Anything else you want to add? Let me see if I'll pull up my my.
Yeah, grab your quotes.
We can.
I was just going to say 87.3% of all figures are made up. So,
All right. Let's see. Do we want a quote? All right. This is a quote that when I first found quotes, I went crazy. I had them all over my room. I lived in Philadelphia, just all over the freaking place.
Right.
And it was funny because at the time, sometimes I would wake up and be like massively like just still depressed or procrastinating or just going through the struggles. But now it's kind of I think they definitely do have a long-term effect. This one, in reference to earlier, talking about kind of just stress and working and things of that sort. This is one that pushes me. Unless a man undertakes more than he can do, he will never do all that he can. Henry Drummond. That's today's quote.
Who's Henry Drummond?
I have no idea.
Okay. Wise man, no doubt. Wise man.
Smart. It would have sounded much better had I known who he was. That note to self, I will do a little background story on that. So, anyways, thanks for hanging out. Listen to the Adventure Metrics podcast with Scott and myself. Check the show notes for anything that we've discussed. If you want to get links to anything, hit us up with questions, comments, feedback. We'll catch you on the next show. Anything you want to add, Scott?
That's it. Great show, and see you next time.
See you next time, guys. Keep rocking.